Today, a task force looking into Vermont's pension crisis for state employees and teachers held its final meeting, and a proposal has been offered. The task force is recommending the state increase employee contributions and address underfunded liabilities with federal relief money and surplus from the 2021 budget. In a statement, Senate President Pro Tem Becca Balint said, quote, "This big financial investment will right a wrong, give public employees peace of mind, and will benefit all of us," end quote. Also, Vermont lawmakers and advocacy groups gathered together for a discussion on environmental justice in Vermont. They outlined steps to address inequity in just how climate change impacts the state's population. State House reporter Devin Bates joins us now live in the newsroom with more on this. Devin?
That's right, Lauren. The state of Vermont is one of only a handful of states that lack an environmental justice policy, but some lawmakers hope this legislative session could change that.
Environmental justice is a way of ensuring that resources get to those who need them most. Some would call environmental justice the intersection of poverty, pollution, and power.
Some Vermont lawmakers are looking toward a future where environmental justice is enshrined in state law. Senator Keisha Ram Hinsdale had sponsored a bill that would boost data collection to find out whether some communities are feeling the impact of climate change harder than others. Senator Chris Bray chairs the Senate Committee on Natural Resources and Energy. He said Vermont needs to take this on before it's too late.
While our hearts and our programs are in the right place, the way in which we do our work could be improved. Made more inclusive, more respectful. Despite all our best intentions, we have not reached all Vermonters who can benefit from the state's programs.
A UVM study found that BIPOC individuals in Vermont were 7 times more likely to have gone without heat in the past year and over 2 times more likely to have trouble affording electricity. Dr. Bindu Panikar, an assistant professor at the University of Vermont, said environmental inequities have been building for centuries, and Vermont is no different.
What we found in our studies is that tracts with BIPOC and people with limited English proficiency were significantly more at risk from average environmental exposures, historic sites of pollution, heat vulnerability, and environmental pollution.
The bill in question was introduced last session, but never gained traction. State Rep Kevin Christie, who co-chairs the Social Equity Caucus, hopes this time around is different.
Environmental justice is social justice. We can prepare Vermont to be the leader that we are always expected to be.
And this week, Vermont lawmakers will also be discussing the Climate Action Plan, which provides an ambitious 4-year roadmap that would see the state shifting away from fossil fuels and expanding electric vehicle incentives. We'll stay in the State House for a minute because earlier today, legislative leaders also got some perspective from health experts on whether they should return to meeting in person. Right now, lawmakers are set to return on January 18th, but that could be extended. House Speaker Jill Krowinski was interested in hearing whether there's a specific metric that could be used to make that call. Others wanted to know whether masks will be effective enough for meetings that can often take several hours in small committee rooms. Senate President Pro Tem Becca Balint asked the question that's on everybody's mind: how long will this Omicron surge last?
I mean, it's hard to look at the numbers from last week and think they could go higher, but I suspect they will. But I hope that in sort of at the end of the next sort of 3 to 4 weeks that we start seeing some plateauing and then some reduction in cases.
And that'll certainly be factoring into their decision. Now, the discussion on whether to extend remote work is ongoing, and the Joint Rules Committee is scheduled to meet again next week. Live in the newsroom, Devin Bates, Local 44 News.